It's Lana from Clearwater. How are you doing this evening? Phew. It's getting hot in here. Whew. I hope you all get your dance groove on. You know, it's been a while since I've done a little bit of dancing in the kitchen. At least, not on live. So, how is everyone doing tonight? Hey, Jeanette and Michelle. How are you all? Welcome to the new peeps. We got some rockin' ratsters in the house. Woohoo! Thank you so much for joining. You know, sharing is caring. It's all about spreading the love. We're an inclusive group, not exclusive, right? So it's all about bringing one another together so we can uplift, inspire, support, and empower one another, because not everybody has the community they need in their local immediate environment, right? So the power of social media. Hello! We're talking like, you know, across the world, people you would never have met back in the day, back in the 80s. Would you have thought that you would be able to connect this way in the 70s, in the 50s, the 60s? You know, it was one thing to write a letter, pen pals and such. But now you can reach out and touch one another with the power of the finger. It's a very mighty finger. Didn't you know that? So I got this funky, cheesy, like, I'm telling you, my hair stinks. But I wanted to dress up today and play, right? So I got hair all over the place. I got it. You know how you like, ooh, I got hairs all over me somewhere. So, and there's a lot of this. It's going to take a heck of a interesting shower tonight. I really want to welcome all of you all who accepted my friend request, who had no idea what they were getting into. This is just the beginning. Tom and I are really excited. Congratulations to all of y'all to spreading the love and making it 12,000 strong. And we haven't even hit the month mark yet, right? Isn't that powerful? The power in numbers, right? And it's not just about raw food. It's not just about being vegan. It's about attaining that overall wellness, a lifestyle that suits you, that's going to uplift you and bring in all that good prana, the life force energy. Yes, we highly encourage plant-based whole foods, but you know what? We're accepting of everyone, and the reason for that is because we've been there. We didn't become knowledgeable overnight. Nobody does, and everybody's on a different point in their path. And let me tell you, when I was eating meat, this was the last thing I would have ever expected myself to be doing. I never wanted to give up my real butter or my filet mignon, so I get it. I understand what it's like when you're considering transition, or when you're around people who are doing it and it feels like they're threatening your overall existence, because it really isn't a threat to you. It's more the fear of losing what it is you have in the moment. And the irony is you don't lose anything. If anything, you gain so much vibrancy. But see, I didn't know that back then. And that's where we've learned so much compassion and why we are so inclusive. We want to embrace every single person, no matter where you're at along your path. Because it wasn't easy for us either, Tom and myself. And you know, it's great to have people say, you know what you should do? I care about you. I really think you should be doing this. But the ego is strong, the mind, the will. And it says, who are you to tell me? You don't know me. And when you tell somebody what they should do or think you know better for them, you actually stunt their growth. You stop them from evolving in their natural form, because then all of a sudden it's someone trying to impose themselves upon them. Even if you have the best loving intentions, it's not serving anybody. It causes you stress because you think you need to fix people, and it causes them stress because now they feel like they're not good enough, because you're not loving them where they're at and accepting them where they're at in their journey. So that's why this group is created, to bring you all together and to support one another. No hate, no drama, no dogma. It's all about encouraging one another to do the best they can at the point you're at right now. If you want to embrace a whole foods, plant-based lifestyle, that's what Tom and I are here doing. We're providing a meal plan as an option, because we had so many people asking us what it is that we eat and how we could maybe support y'all. And I'll tell you, most of the recipes are so simple. You know, they're recipes that both of us have done and approved. I'm seriously digging into my archives, because for years everybody would say, "What? I want to try that. What's the recipe?" And well, digging through my archives is one story in itself, because I have journals, I have computer notes, I have iPhone notes, I got little scribbles on pieces of paper if anybody's like me. It's all over. Hi Joni, how are you tonight? Hi Lisa, hi Michelle. Oh, I love it all. Y'all are awesome. You're just rocking it. You're rocking it, Radsters. And I want to explain this because I love playing with words, and Tom and I have really enjoyed the creative flow of how this is unfolded. Rockin'. You could say rocking, R-A-W-K-I-N-G, but it's raw-kin, and it's actually kind of a spoof play if you think about it. We're all kindred spirits, we're all kin, we're all family, and that's what this is really doing. We're becoming a huge, expanded community. Hi Jeanette and Cheryl, how are you? I will do one on kombucha, I promise you that. And so, rockin', we're all loving y'all, and we're rad stars, because you know what? Each and every one of us has something to teach one another. We can all learn from one another. I don't care what you're doing, and if I don't agree with everything you're doing, I guarantee you have something I can learn from you about. And about myself. Laura, she's like, Lana's wearing makeup. I know, right? You know, showing you my other side, right? Because Lana used to wear a lot of makeup, a lot more. So, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Still trying to get the hair out of everything. So, so truly, we like to play with the words. A lot of people are coming into the community and a little confused about what is RADiculously RawThentic, right? Yes, I have many flavors. RADiculously RawThentic. How we came up with it, and we played with the rad and the raw, was because, you know what? We're all here to have fun and play. We're trying to get everybody to come back to their inner child and open up the floodgates of joy in their lives. And when you start playing, you start going out there and just being who you are instead of trying to be something you're not or conform to the environment that you're in. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. I appreciate that. Honestly, ridiculousness is all about just, hey, you know what? I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to do cartwheels in the street. I'm going to do cartwheels. I'm telling you, when I go to the beach and I do cartwheels, I do get funny looks. But I don't care, because I'm not there to please anyone else. I'm there to have my own joy. And when my inner child wants to play, I need to honor that. Too many of us have really suppressed that inner hurt child that felt neglected at some point in our lives. And to reawaken it is like, oh, thank you so much. You didn't forget me. Because that inner child is the reason behind all of our suffering, our pain, our hurt, our trauma. It's unresolved. There's something deep within us that really needs to be touched and coddled and hugged and embraced and accepted right where it is. And say, you know what, I love you so much. I'm never going to let anything bad happen to you. Because what's happened in the past is past. It's not present. And when we get stuck in the past, we keep repeating it, right? So again, many of you are new, and I teach yoga. So one of my favorite things to remind people is the breath. To always bring it back to the moment. Just tapping into the breath. And I mean deep down into your pelvic floor, expanding up through the belly, up through the diaphragm and the chest, allow it to embrace every cell of your body. Let it re-enliven you. Thank you, Dawn, for sharing. I appreciate you. Thank you. Because really it's breathing in that life force, that energy, that nurturing, sustaining prana. It's there to maintain you, right? And so when you start breathing long and deep and you find yourself in those moments of, stress, because that's really the cause of all disease, which it all starts up here in the mind. That's when you need to reel yourself in and just start breathing and paying attention and watching the flow of your breath and how it actually enters every crevice of your body. And especially, hi Laura, especially those areas that may have been neglected and are stuck and tight and stiff. Because when you start breathing that conscious breath, because that's what it is, instead of being stuck up in here, right? Because, hi Cheryl, a lot of us, and I know for myself, I had a lot of anxiety, and sometimes I still catch it. Hey Rick, honey. Sometimes I catch myself where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting like a little frustration, a little anxiety, and it's because of my pendulum swinging, and I know that. I know that I can go way over here and be really excited, and I can go way over here and be a little bit like fearful, right? So the pendulum, when it's swinging, you need to come back to that center point. Hi Jerica, how are you? Woo woo, right? Hey, hi Maureen and Cheryl. Mwah. And so when we start tapping into that breath, you know, you catch yourself in those moments of flight, fear, you know, it's fight or flight. And even excitement is fight or flight, right? It's like you start to breathe nice, long, deep belly breathing, and you consciously watch the flow of your breath and allow it to open you up to expansion, to drawing in the radiant light, to draw in what it is your body needs to nurture and to sustain you. Because we're always contracting or expanding at all times, right? So when you use the breath, you'll find, you start to slough off some of that stress. You catch yourself going, wow, you know, what was I thinking? When you're really, truly, deeply conscious. Hi, Daisha, how are you? Hi, Heather. When you really, really get deep into your breathing and paying attention to it, what ends up happening is you actually will catch yourself, and you get very conscious and mindful of it, almost forgetting what it was that brought you to that place to begin with. I catch myself all the time, and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, let me stop and breathe. And I actually have to remind myself, was there something I was supposed to be doing right now after I've done it a few times? Awesome. I love that you're all showing up. I truly appreciate that. And I love your name, Daisha. Is it Daisha or Daisha? But I love that black flower moonwolf. Oof. So many of us, and myself, and this is because I teach from experience. I can only teach from where I've been. I can only speak from my own personal experience. So I will never impose upon you what I feel is really something of my belief system. And that's one of my key notes in all of this group, and Tom and I have agreed upon this. Hi Nikki, honey. We want you to feel that you have a sacred space when you come to the group. So if you disagree with others, remember to stop and ask yourself, is it kind? Will it serve? Is it just? How would you feel if somebody reached out and said whatever it is you feel you want to say in response to people? Or if you see a picture that upsets you, ask yourself, what is it about it if it upsets you? Hi, Sherry, hun. Whenever something upsets you, Diaisha. Ooh, Diaisha. Ooh, I like that even better. When you start to listen to yourself and go, whoa, I'm getting triggered. Triggered is an unhealed emotional trauma from the past that hasn't been resolved. It means it's coming up for healing if you're open to it. It's the opportunity to take it back a step and breathe into it and go, what is it about this that I can learn about it for myself? And especially if you feel like something outside of you needs to be conforming to make you feel better. If you feel you need to tell someone they need to treat you a certain way, or if you feel like something doesn't resonate with you, do you really need to react to it? Or maybe you need to respond within and sit with it, because it's always an opportunity for healing and growth. And so where it may seem, right? Where it may seem that something is being done to you, that's only the victimhood status that some of us have grown up with, where we think, and we've been conditioned, because I know I did it most of my life, where I could easily find something that I felt was being done to me. And as a result of that, I could find all sorts of victimhood situations. I could find the things that I felt were being done to me. But what was really happening is I was so attached to these unresolved traumas in my life, where I felt like the victim, instead of realizing that I am the victor and I can actually overcome. And instead of seeing myself in the situation as having something done to myself, but asking, what is it about myself that I may be doing to me internally in my own mind that is causing this energy to come toward me, right? Sometimes it's to remind yourself that, you know what? I need to love myself more, because if other people around me aren't treating me the way I want to be treated, the first question, the most important question you could ever ask yourself is, am I treating myself the way I want to be treated? Am I being loved within, or am I expecting others outside of me so that I go without? See, now, words are really powerful, and when you start to actually look at the situation, you become more like, whoa, wait a minute. If I stay within myself and actually cultivate this inner self-love, right? Because self-love is going to attract more love, right? You don't have to go without to others to validate you. It should always start within. And so that's a good part of this group, is also cultivating that within one another and giving you a community, a kin, raw kin, relationship with other rad stars who will also like go, hey, you know, I've been there. I feel ya. But it's not the type of environment where we're looking to attack anybody whatsoever. And if we feel, and we do, we reach out. If we feel something is inappropriate, we will take care of it. If we miss it and somebody sees it, please reach out to us, Tom and myself. Okay? Hi, Maria. Because it's very important. You know, we all want to feel love. We all need human connection, whether it's through social media or in person. Really, ideally, we all want to meet in person. But right now, if you don't have that support group, that network, those beautiful people to hold the space for you, you've got it here now. And that's why Tom and I created this, is because we really wanted to embrace all of those people who really need it, right? So, yeah. So I'm truly excited. We went over the 12,000 mark today. Woohoo! We've been super busy behind the scenes. Some of you already have the meal plan, and so it's all awesome. You know, I can tell you, for those of you who don't know my journey, I had to figure out the hard way. For many years, I was diagnosed with IBS from the Air Force. They told me, oh, we don't know what's wrong with you, but it's IBS. And my stomach, I used to have severe cramping and constipation, not exactly the most comfortable thing to talk about, but guess what? It's a conversation that needs to be had, because doctors never told us growing up that, oh, you're supposed to go several times a day, at least once a day, if not more. And if you're not moving things down there, you're toxic. You're building up toxins, and that's where a lot of the physical pains and diseases come from. Is we are this cesspool of toxicity as a result of holding on to things. And see, this is a manifestation of the mind as well. So, you know, for me, this whole group, it's all about attaining that mind-body-soul connection, that overall wellness. I will say it time and time again, it's not just what you put in your mouth. It's what you actually put your eyes on, what you listen to. You have the choice on all of this. If something doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel like the high vibes that you want to experience, you need to also choose to move toward what will, right? And that's, again, why we created this group, so that you would have some opportunity, at least here, because we can't be everywhere, obviously, but we'd like to, right? So again, it's all the senses that make up the whole. So when you think about touching, tasting, smelling, hearing, listening, looking, right? All these senses create the whole, right? So we can say, oh, you know, I have to change my diet, but it's more than just changing your diet. It really is going within, because what drives what you eat is what starts up in here, and some of it's so unconscious we don't even remember why. And that's why meditation is very powerful, and I highly recommend it. And I've done a few meditations and practices. I teach Kundalini Yoga, and I've done them on here live, and I will do more. Of course, it also depends on how much y'all are wanting it. You know, we need feedback, right? Yeah, it is. Rick, it's true. It's lifestyle is overall. Some of us didn't exactly have the best growing up. Some of us might have had a good growing up, but maybe there was something along the way. Everybody's got a story, and everybody's got something. And truly, nobody is worse or better than another, because when it's a personal experience, you cannot compare it. And I don't expect anybody to compare their experience to mine. Hi, Sarah. Because truly, when your experience happened to you, I wasn't there, and every experience is unique to the individual. Nobody will ever experience the same experience. Even if you're with somebody else at the same time, you're just experiencing each other. And so when you tell a story, believe it or not, you tell the story from the last time you told it, not from the actual occurrence. It's quite powerful when you stop and think, well, you can rewrite it because you are along the way whenever you tell the stories. So why not rewrite it and be ridiculously RAWthentic? Rewrite it the way you want to live it, right? Thank you, Rebecca. So, woo-woo. If anybody has questions, please type below. You know, again, the sharing and the caring. I'm just playing with my hair because I went dancing all over the room, right? Ugh, and I'm trying not to get caught up in my stuff. My jacket has little beads and it gets caught. Yoga is the bomb. Let me tell you, when I found Kundalini Yoga, it changed my life. And mostly because I've done other yoga. I'm also a Hatha Vinyasa yoga teacher, and I've studied with Shiva Ray. I've done a lot of stuff over the course of my life. I even used to be an aerobics instructor. I used to teach kickboxing and step and Pilates, and yes, you know, it just keeps on going. And I was a marathon runner on top of all that, and that was my moving meditation until my body said, take it down a notch because of my neck, my cervical spine, and my lower back. I actually, believe it or not, I get a lot of people, can you imagine this? Hot yoga was how I transitioned, Rick. I had to keep my sweat on because I am the type of person, I have to get that out of my system. And when I was in my super OCD, serious ADHD, I was constantly busy. I look back upon the life I lived before, and I was always on the go. I don't even know, looking back, how I was able to overcome all that adrenal fatigue and all of the stuff that I mean, I know that I'm still dealing with it now. So, yeah, because now I'm like, you know what? I need to honor the time that I need when I need to rest. Sometimes I'm a little bit overly excited about things and I push myself further than I should, and so then I get, got to charge up my batteries. And I encourage every one of you to really focus on your own self-care first, and recognize that if you're not exercising self-care for yourself, you're no good for anybody else. And most of us want to doobie-doobie-doo for one another. But if we're not doing it for ourselves, we're not going to be able to do it to the full extent that we can. Rebecca, it all depends on what you're doing with the hands going numb. That could be cervical spine. I know that mine, nerve pain, actually caused for several months. I still kind of get this radiating sensation down my arm, and this finger still gets a little bit of a tingle and numbness. So I kind of know, but I don't know your circumstances. I just know what I experienced, and it wasn't even from yoga. So, but truly, when it comes down to it, if you're not taking care of you, you're no good for anybody else. You know, we've been taught to be more martyrs, and really we need to bring it back. And people will respect, honor, and be given the example of how you need to be treated when you treat yourself with that kindness, that self-love, that nurturing, right? At first, I'm going to tell you, they'll all be ticked off at you for saying no. If you say no to somebody you're always saying yes to, those people are going to turn around and they're going to be like, what? How dare you say no to me? How selfish. Now, isn't that a funny thing to hear from someone when they tell you you're the one who's selfish for not thinking of them? Just saying, think about it, right? Because it really is, there's this alchemical reaction when you start working on nurturing the self-love, and it turns your life into miracles. And that's my passion overall, is the alchemy of self-love, because it is golden and it is all that we are. And when you work on loving yourself, you're going to draw on the right people who will love you just as well as you do. But it's always going to be in correlation to how you're treating yourself first. If you want the perfect partner, you got to work on you first. I've been single for many years, celibate too, and you know what? It's actually a beautiful thing, because then you're not worried about pleasing someone else. Yet, I will tell you that the actual true test is when you start to put it into practice when you do start dating. because that's an entirely different ballgame. And although we want a partner, most of us do, I don't know too many people who don't. I'm playing with hair, don't mind me. I get this little squirrel thing going on. Hold on a second. That would be part of my OCD, and I'm owning that. I have no problem with that. And I own all my stuff. I have no problem admitting if I'm wrong. I really appreciate open dialogue, and that's another thing I want to stress in this group. I want you all to open your dialogue, open your hands. Don't be going into things with any resistance. Be open-minded. If you have a strong belief system or stance on something, be open to listen to others, because you know what? United we stand, divided we fall. The more we actually accept people where they are and where we are, we're actually uplifting the world, because the world is so off kilter right now. There's enough chaos and trauma out there that people need to be reminded that we're human and we all want love. And then if we're arguing about what team they belong to, or what political party, or what religion, or what, I'm just going to say it, there's too many damn labels out there. I am not anything but a soul, and what I do might fall under certain categories, but there is no way that there's any one label that defines who I am. And I don't expect any of you to do that either. Don't fall victim to a label. We're not labels. I don't feel any stickiness on me that needs to have this stuff. And because labels just make people lazy. And what happens when people are lazy? They don't give you the opportunity to be loved and treated as a unique individual, as you are, right? When you go into conversations with people, and you know, we do want validation. And the validation, Jerica, the beauty in validation is that you have to seek it within first. If you validate yourself, everybody who shows up will just enhance that. You don't have to receive it from another. But doesn't it feel good when you validate yourself, and then all of a sudden these beautiful people start showing up in your life because you realize the miracle of self-love. That's what happens, right? So when you meet people, like a lot of people are thinking this is a raw vegan community, and it really is more than that. We're not even giving it that label. It just happens to be that we're raw and rad, right? And I absolutely love that. I don't subscribe to you need to eat a certain way, because I know what's good for me. I don't know what's good for you. But I want to encourage those of you who may have such a strong hold on what they believe to release that. We can't grow under our labels and judgment. Exactly, Maria. That's exactly it. And in order to uplift this world, we all have to come to the understanding that, you know what, we're not here to fix anybody. No way, siree. You're not here to fix the world. I'm not here to fix the world. I'm just here to embrace you as you are, to love you where you're at. If I don't agree with you, that doesn't mean I need to tell you or point it out or call you out. This is important, because you know what? I've been there, and I'm already hard enough on myself. I don't need to be, receiving it from someone else. So if I have high standards of myself, then I'd be projecting them upon another person. That's one of our biggest downfalls, is we think, we all have a voice, so we have to speak it. But is it true? Is it kind? Is it serving? And is it going to uplift someone? Maya Angelou talks about how a person remembers the way you make them feel. And that's something key. You want to also feel amazing. You want to feel loved, embraced. You want to feel someone coming in and saying, I like you. I love you. You're awesome, right? And if anybody hasn't told you today, I love you, I want you to know you are rocking it. You're rad. You are the bomb diggity, baby. And that's my favorite little line, right? When we come together, we have the power. We have the power, but we think, because of all the conditioning, that we don't. Oh, thank you, Rick. I love you too. When we fall prey to all these victim stories of how you have to work hard. Hi, Dawn, beautiful. I love you too. We're not here to conform. Again, we are in our own forms, and everybody's unique. And we have enough external stress that we don't need to react or respond to it. A lot of times we think, well, I'm upset with this, and so let me speak my worth. Well, sit with it. And I encourage you to actually even journal and meditate and ask, what is it about this that's really bringing up this emotion? If you feel triggered by something, that's an opportunity for you to grow and to learn about yourself. And that's the beauty in all of this, is we have an opportunity every moment to learn, to grow, to evolve, to become the better version of ourselves. Hey, Lucy, honey. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you. And I really now, more than ever before, have such an appreciation for each and every one of you just showing up, because your showing up is what inspires me to show up. And because showing up is half the battle, right? Oh, thank you, Kimberly. If you tune in more often, they get deep. They get bulldozer deep. I like to say it gets bulldozer deep, right? So, again, those of you who don't know, sometimes I know it can be a little bit mesmerizing staring at the screen going, what's she talking about? Hit the share button, invite your friends, because, you know, the more the merrier. And sharing is caring, right? We all tend to hide under the negative names. I know, right? Sharing is caring. So it's like this, we've created this web of inclusion. So when you actually invite your friends, whether it's to the group or to this broadcast right now, what you're doing is spreading your love. You're also reaching out and sharing a part of you, because if you're showing up here and this is actually resonating and it's helping you and it's making you think and it's causing you to go, wow, yeah, you're inspired, you can inspire someone else by just clicking the invite, clicking the share button. It's amazing. Just by the touch of the finger, I told you, you got the power at the tip of your finger, right? Isn't that amazing? We have so much more amazing technology to support us that we can't even, you know, we need to take it around and take it out of the right? Thanks. We need to turn it around and get it fixated and focused on the loving aspect of life, and that to harness that power to be able to bring us all together versus uniting, or with I do that sometimes. So, you know, sometimes what happens is we can get so easily caught up in the negative that we forget that there's beauty and silver lining in all of it. And it's actually very minuscule amounts of negative sprinkled in all this beauty and positive. I choose to find the rainbow, and I do, and I'm a rainbow chaser. All of my good friends, all the people that know me here know that when Lana goes out and she sees, and in fact I have my beautiful friends, mwah, sweet dreams Joni, my beautiful friends will send me pictures of the rainbows they actually witness, and because they know how much I love it. Hi, Carrie. So yeah, look for the silver lining, because there is one in all. Hi, Sarah. There is no negativity. It is only the perception. It is only the mind. It gets so caught up in the stories, and when you're stuck in the story, you relive the story. And the more you tell the story, you invite the story. So again, like I said, it's all about rewriting the story, because you have the power. Let me tell you, you don't know how powerful you are. You can manifest whatever it is you wish. It's a choice of whether or not you fixate on one or the other. Ooh, she's got a rainbow pic for me. I'm excited. Aw, you know how much I love you, Lucy. Whenever you're live, everything stops and I turn on your live music, because it touches my heart and soul. And that's the thing about this group, is we have some amazing people out there. Hi, Shalise. And I want to see everyone. Thank you, Carrie. I want to see everyone. Take the opportunity, step out of your comfort zone, and go live on the group page. There's no lock or key. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it all night long. Oh, sweet. No, truly, if you feel inspired, you know, instead of making a little video and uploading it, go live. We want to get to meet you. We want to get to know you. We want to know what makes you tick. What's going on in your day? I love the animal photos and the pictures and the videos. Oh my gosh. Adorable is no overload. I'm like going, I'm going to end up at the shelter soon, aren't I? And y'all are going to try to inspire me to get another dog, aren't ya? I'm not ready yet. I miss my bougie, my little woo-woo. Angel was a lab husky. She had a partially blue eye and a brown eye. and she had one ear that was always propped up and the other one flipped. She was always on target listening, all right? She was over 17, and she was with me through most of my military career and traveled with me in Europe. Miss my angel. She's with me, though, in spirit, for certain. She shows up every once in a while in my dreams to remind me she's with me. So, loving all of your animal pics. I truly, really, it's an honor because I appreciate you for showing up and doing that and sharing all your furry friends and the bearded, yeah, the snake and the bearded, oh gosh, I can't even say it. Your bearded dragon. Oh my God, Jeanette. Gorgeous. And I don't have a problem with snakes. I was actually, when I was a little girl, I used to bring them in. Thank you, Dawn. I used to bring them into the house. Mom, but they were the gardener snakes or whatever. They weren't poisonous. I used to get, spiders, we used to be more fascinated when I was a kid. Or those hopping grasshoppers that had wings when we lived in Maine. Oh, okay, so I digress because I'm really good like that. I squirrel very easily. But I keep it real. I keep it raw, and I'm staying rad, and I expect each and every one of you to embrace that and to just keep on being you, right? You be you, because that's the key here. We're not here to be anybody else but who we are. And if you're having a bad day and you feel like you need support, reach out to the community, the group. Let me tell you, these Rockin' Radsters got your back. I'm watching the engagement, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, I can't even keep up with y'all. You're all just, I'm like, man, I gotta have like several devices going on to catch everything and a second set of eyes, right? But it's really touching my heart, and I'm loving each and every one of you so, so much. Getting to know you. Woo, it's so sweet. I'm loving, loving, loving. I'm me, you're you, he, him, she's her. Oh, I like that. That sounds cool, Rick. I like it, I like it. So, who all out there has the meal plan? Let's see. If you don't, that's cool too, because again, that's just an optional aspect of this community. And we offered it because for so many months, Tom and I kept receiving information saying, hey, we'd love to know what it is you eat, and could you offer a meal plan? And I have had people over the years who've wanted me to share all of my stuff. And I've graciously given a lot of stuff away for free. But there's a certain point that we need to support this community too. So again, sharing is caring. If you know somebody out there who could really use it. Yeah, Maria, we have a Whole Foods plant-based. The meal plan is absolutely yummy because a lot of it's old recipes I've had over the years. I just brought it up and I'll show you what it looks like. So we put this together, Tom and myself, many long nights. And I have a new setup so my camera's off a little bit more so you don't get you don't get it as much, my faucet. So, basically, ooh, don't break your laptop in the process. So if you can see it well, this is what it looks like. This is the entry. So we're in week 3. This is week 3 now. And I'm gonna go here. So we have like, it is on the page. The optional is $60 for 12 weeks. Super rad, super raw. It's a mix. Some foods are cooked, so it's not 100% raw, but we knew there were a lot of transition people, so we wanted to give the equal balance. And for a lot of you out there who are already on the meal plan, meal plan. Yeah, thank you so much, Jeanette. If you haven't seen it, I mean, this is week 3, and I can tell you the recipes keep getting yummier and yummier. And when I go over my old recipes, I'm like, ooh, why haven't I made that in a while? Well, it's summer here in Florida, so I can tell you I'm doing a lot more mono mealing, and I eat a lot more melons, sweet. So, you know, again, you're gonna change your life by empowering yourself and eating whole foods, plant-based. Thank you, Heather, appreciate that. So, for example, each card, right, you got breakfast, you got lunch, you got dinner. Din din, ding, bum, diggity dong dong, you know, blend it up, serve it up. What? So, the body knows what it needs, exactly. And so what happens is, each day has 3, and it's 5 days, it's Monday through Friday. But this is a lot of food for me. And on the bottom of each of these cards has the instructions on how to prepare each of the meals. You've got the recipes, and then the instructions for the recipes. So ingredients and the recipe instructions, right? So then underneath here, we've been expanding as we go. We have supplementals, so that if there are other components to a recipe, and the components that you can use by themselves, right? And guess what else we got? Makes your life easier. Why is it not moving? Oh, there it goes. Shopping list. We have, for the entire week, a shopping list that makes your life a little simpler. And we've broken it down to herbs and spices, to beverages, nuts and seeds, to produce and everything else. I mean, you can't get any easier than that. So especially those of you with families, I know how tough it can be. And I know how much time it takes to put together a shopping list, because that's what we did. And so that is just an overview of the meal plan. And we try to keep the meals kind of like close together, where you're not having to buy a whole bunch of food and then figure out, whoa, wait a minute, there's too many diverse recipes. Like, they kind of help and complement one another. I love smoothie bowls, so we have been adding smoothie bowls in here as well. And I think I'm actually going to make something simple tonight, because I've had a little bit of a lingering migraine going on, and I spent most of the day eating watermelon. And I love, love, love me some watermelon. I'll show you my bowl, because everybody likes to see these pretty bowls I have, and it's freaking huge. The watermelon was on my back stovetop, because I don't use the stovetop very often. The watermelon was a big watermelon. This is my, and by the way, I ate most, I had to cut it down. That's what's left over from today. There's probably a second bowl, if not more, right? So it's all about nurturing with nature. And we know how hard it is to implement a transition. So this was mostly designed for those of you in transition, and for those of you who want some new recipes to change it up, right? So watermelon. And for those of you who went out and sought out, because I kept on posting about it, the cotton candy grapes, right? No the moondrop grapes yet. I gotta get them. I'm telling you, I've seen moondrops out there, and I've seen the gumdrops. Somebody else posted gumdrops. I'm like going, how many varieties? I'm gonna have to go on his website. I hadn't done that yet. But I got 2 of these. These are 3 pounds each. They were $9. That's $3 a pound. That was at Sam's. And I bet if I go back, they'll all be gone. That's a great idea too, Jeanette. See, that's the thing that people tend to forget about, how, well, if my produce looks like it's going to go bad, stick it in the freezer. Clean it up, stick it in the freezer. You'll be able to pop it in a smoothie. Make life simple. It's about doing things smarter, not harder. Gotta do things smarter, less harder. I have a song for that, and I actually recorded it. And then I've also got to catch up with a girlfriend who informed me she has more coconuts for me. Dee, if you're here, I hear you. We got to connect. I know that. I still got 2 in there I got to scoop out. And I have to make more coconut yogurt, because that's what I do. I love fermented foods and cultures. I just find it fascinating. And I love experimenting. So the kitchen for me is my alchemist's room, the space of changing, transforming, right? Woohoo! Yeah, exactly. Blending and making it as a fruit ice cube is cool too. And you can add that to water to just give it the flavor, right? A lot of people do that with the water. They'll freeze the herbs in an ice cube so they can put them in there. D is the coconut goddess, by the way, yes. Beet juice with an apple, carrot, celery, and cinnamon. Yum! The cinnamon is ideal for those of you who have diabetes, especially the Ceylon cinnamon. It controls and regulates the blood sugar levels, right? Beautiful. So I'm going to make this simple. Taking off the rings. I'm going for a smoothie, and tonight it's going to be a mango. Oh man, I got to go outside and get mint, because I got fresh mint outside. So I'm going to have to grab some mint outside. Awesome! So if you have any questions, anybody have any questions out there? Just asking. And always make sure you're hydrating. This is super important, because I've been talking for how long now? Almost an hour. I'm good like that. Ooh, and then dribble. Make sure you always have your water. So you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to step out of the room for just a second. Please don't go anywhere. Don't freak out just because I leave. I'll be back. My door is right there. And when I go outside, I'm going to pick some of the mint so I can put it in this. Yeah. I'll be right back. Just putting on my flip-flops. Oh, the jar. You know, Maria, I'm all about my glass, and I always put the cap on it because I have been known to just slosh it around, and yeah. I don't have any pets right now, Adam. And when I did, it depends, because with Angel, I tried to move her more toward a plant-based food because she had so many issues. And I kept her on salmon, a little bit of salmon, and I had her, there's a spot stew salmon sweet potato, I think it was, by the Halo that Tom uses. I used to bring her that, and I used to get some dehydrated vegetable food stuff, and I was using a website for that. This is actually this is how the jar came. When I initially got this, there was probably cucumbers or not cucumbers, pickles. There's a farm on the other side of the coast, Glazer Farms in the Miami area, and they sell a lot of local ferments and things like that. Like I get my raw almond butter through them, and they have these great jars. So I have a collection because I use so many of them. So that was probably either the dill pickles or even a kimchi maybe. I'll be back. Fresh mint from my garden. Well, actually it's a pot. Yes. Oh, I had a lab, yeah. I can't read all of it, Adam, unfortunately. Angel was a lab husky, and she had some issues where when she got older, they told me when I adopted her she would have hip dysplasia, and it's very common for labs and also with German Shepherds to have hip problems. And over the years, many things for her kind of shifted. When we lived in Italy, for example, thank you, Rick, the Jeopardy song. Her belbows or elbows actually got these rough spots, and she didn't have that before. So I never understood what exactly caused that, but other friends of mine with pets had the same thing happen to them. When we were in Europe, I didn't know, it was before I learned about my gluten and my wheat intolerance, my allergy being so severe, that I didn't know about a lot of things, obviously. Like I learned that you never give grapes to pets because it's bad on their adrenals. It's actually can cause kidney failure. So never give grapes to pets. Whoever out there doesn't know that already. And with Angel, we used to go to one of my favorite pizzerias, and I would get this. It was actually the Ortolana, which isn't that pretty? Ortolana. The Ortolana was the garden veggie pizza, and I was still eating mozzarella back then. So, mozzarella di bufala, when you live in Naples, Italy, I'm not going to deny it was delish, right? But I also know how they make it now too, right? So when I would get this pizza, and they knew me so well, and I bring my dog, you could bring your dogs there. I brought Angel everywhere. My dog had a doggy passport. And she would sit under the table. Most people never knew she was there. And she was a good 60 to 65 pounds at her heaviest. Big dog. And then the little dogs would be the ones that would be jumping under the table barking at her. And she'd be like, I don't know what your problem is. I'm good. So when I'd go in and have pizza, I get it in the shape of a heart because the guys remembered me all the time. They always would watch. They would watch to see my reaction when they would deliver the pizza, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it was so sweet. It was so sweet. Even putting in the little arrow across it. Can you imagine how special and sweet was that? I mean, that made my day. And so I would not always eat the crust. I would share my pizza with her. And she loved it. But I didn't realize how bad that was for her, because even animals shouldn't be eating grains like that. And I wasn't aware for myself until 2010 when I had the reaction. But over the course of time, I learned a lot more about the stuff they put in the dog foods. And I watched the recipes shifting and changing over the years too, because I would read all the ingredients. And I avoid canola oil, rapeseed oil, what was the other oil? They put another thing in there. But the stuff they're putting in the foods for pets, it's so gross. Corn, I tried to avoid any corn, any gluten, any dairy. I was really particular with her diet after I realized the situation. And I would buy those, they have these salmon loaves in the refrigerated aisle. There's a refrigerator in, I think it was PetSmart or Petco. And those I would mix with the dehydrated food, but I would always add turmeric to her food. I put a lot of herbs in there, and she'd look at me like, now what are you serving me up? Because unfortunately, my dad was also still kind of doing put his leftover pasta and sauce in her dish. And I'm like, don't do that. But you don't know what you don't know. And she had a really good long 17 plus years, right? She was the best. Oh my gosh, it all didn't move. Half lab. Ooh, Irish setter. Ooh, pretty. And we're always learning. That's why this space is so important, is to also support others who are still not where you're at. Like, a lot of times during my journey, I wanted to help my dad. I wanted to tell my sister, my mother, oh, you should do this and you should do that. But I didn't realize I wasn't accepting and loving them where they were at in their journey and along their path, right? I know Harley's gorgeous, Jeanette, and so sweet and so skittish. She's so cute. And so, when you're trying to help or think you can, fix someone, because helping is the subtlest form of control. I'm just saying. It's so true. We think we can control our external circumstances. So we really do normally come from a loving space. We want to help people because we don't want them to suffer like we did, right? The intention is pure, it's beautiful, it's love. But when you impose what you think works for you, thinking it'll work for someone else, that's when you're not holding that space and holding the love for the other person. You're basically saying you're not good enough and I want you to change so that you're better. And nobody wants to feel that. And that's powerful, because when you actually step in yourself and go, wow, I didn't realize what I'm really doing is telling them that, by imposing my views and what I feel they should be doing, what I'm really saying is, I don't love you the way you are, you need to change. And most people aren't going to take it that way. They're not going to think that way because their intention they think is pure and good, but they're not actually questioning the why behind it and the real what it is, When you do, was that a buggy or my hair? Something on my ear. Ooh, I went outside, so the bugs are out. And I'm in Florida, so, it's a little humidity. I'm on the West Coast, so it's not too bad. I haven't seen anything. I heard the East Coast. Rick, are you doing okay? You don't have that that national disaster thing going on, do you? Okay. Love you, Rick. We'll catch up later. I know I'll probably see you within the next half hour anyway. So I'm going to make up a quick smoothie, and we'll finish up. If anybody has more questions, I love you all. I'm here to inspire, support, uplift. We're going to make this very simple because I have a 9:30 appointment myself. But I'm going to try to be quick because I always take so much time doing all this. Yeah, when you take back your health, you take back your wealth, you entirely, right? And the other thing I like to remind people is that when you master the breath and you really tap into deep belly breathing, you master your mind, and that masters your life. Right? Take back your mind. Don't be a slave to your mind. Become the master and give it creative things to fixate on. You think one way and it doesn't resonate with you, well, shift it and change the story. If you're constantly finding things wrong, look for things that are right. Flip-flop it, right? Stay safe, Rick. I will be in touch. So it's a mango. And let me tell you, this is ooey gooey juicy. Like, I don't think I could get any riper than this one. It's mushy too. I do that sometimes. They sit in my fridge. But when I cut it up, it's always the question of what it's going to look like. This year, they've been amazing here in Florida. This is probably one of the best seasons I've seen yet. Alrighty. I'm kind of always like, ooh, well, how's this going to turn out? This could get messy because you know I lick the knife and everything else. For those of you who've been watching me for a while, right? Just saying. Oh my God, it's sweet. If I'm dribbling on my chin, I'm good with that. I do admit, I'm not crazy about mangoes when they're stringy. This year, they're not. The ones I've been finding have not been really stringy, which I love. The messiest part is when I start cutting it and going, ooh. So I love ceramic knives, mostly because they don't oxidize. As you could see if you saw my video earlier, they don't oxidize. So like when you cut an apple you put in the fridge, it doesn't start turning brown. Same thing with an avocado, it stays green. It's crazy. It's because what happens is people don't realize metals, the shavings from them as you use them do come off, right? So heavy metals. And it's one of the things I learned about the grains over the years. You know, people don't ever stop to consider there's heavy metals in our environment in so many different ways that when you consider the way they used to process grains, they used to do things by hand more, right? Or the wooden stuff. But as the time has gone on, they introduced, what do you call it? Industrial machinery. See? Yeah, and we have a link for that, Jeanette. We have a link for that. So we'll be providing that shortly. So when they introduced the industrial machinery, what happened was that it started introducing more heavy metals to the foods. And so they're on top of genetically modifying things like wheat, which they turned to grano duro, which means hardier, durable, disease resistant, but they never stopped to think about, oh, well, is it going to be edible, right? Hi, Carolyn. I saw something, but I missed it. And because my fingers are so sticky, I can't touch the phone now. Man, this is so good and sweet. I kind of like it when I let it go a little bit longer. Look at that. Ooey gooey goodness. Yes, I am, Cheryl. Part Portuguese. Ah, that's awesome, Ada. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you showing up. These days when I can't sleep, I'm watching y'all. Yes, Cheryl, I am part Portuguese. My great grandmother her name was Alfama. My dad's mom was also Alfama, her daughter. And no, she was Souza. My grandfather was Alfama. My grandmother was Alfama. My great-grandmother was a Souza, and I still don't know very much about all of it, but I went to Portugal 2 years ago with my dad. We absolutely loved it. I want to go back soon. I truly want to do more research, genealogy. Hi, Vitena. How do you pronounce that? Vitena? Vitina? Vitina? I like to pronounce people's names properly. Like, my name is Lana. Please don't ever say Lana. I know it's about habits and routines, but when you say someone's name and you say it properly, you're giving back love. It's vibration, it's energy. So it's really powerful that when you pay attention to how you say someone's name, you know, it's like, hi, Vitena, how are you tonight? You give them back that love. You share back that energy of their name. It's beautiful. Vitina. Vitina. I like it. Vitina. I love it. Wow. We got 400 new members already. We're going to hit 13,000 tonight. So again, if this is your first time tuning in, I do all sorts of like, I eat as I go. I'm shameless. Don't have any time nor need to try to be any more, you know, than what I am. I can be all prim and proper, don't get me wrong. But you know what? When you keep it raw, you stay rad, you stay authentically who you are. You don't have any shows to put on. It's actually more fun because then people feel inspired by wanting to be in their true authenticity, right? Not having to make up something that other people they think will like, right? And don't forget, we have a free juicer giveaway going on for adding 200 members or more. And let me tell you, this is in honor of Tom for hitting his 1 year of sobriety and his 1 year of celibacy. You got to give him some serious kudos for that. That is awesome. Not too many men out there will actually own that or do that, right? It's a huge step up to the plate, right? That's self-love. What else did I say was in this? Is a banana in here? Uh-oh. Oh, let me check if I got a banana. I might not have a banana. I might be out of bananas. Right, bro. Ah, but I got blueberries. Dang, I really want a banana. I knew there was something. I walked into Whole Foods tonight. They're 69 cents a pound because they dropped their prices since Amazon and them merged. Don't you know I forgot? But you know what I did do? And this is silly. Y'all have been checking out my kombucha. I went and bought 2 of these. This one has like this coffee elixir. And I've made espresso coffee kombucha before. I haven't done it in a long time, but I haven't been able to get my espresso machine to work. So I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to use that. So that's what I did. I ended up buying 2 of those, and darned if I didn't realize, oh, I forgot to get the bananas. I need bananas. How could I forget bananas? Boom, I would say that is not something to what? I can't read the rest of it. Ooh. Oh, no, I don't. I don't have any nanners. But I got lots of goodies in here. So I got blueberries and I got pitaya. Oh, well, that's okay. Just in case. I sometimes hide things in here. I'm going to do mango blueberry mint. So again, this is the beauty. You can always change things up. You don't have to always follow the recipe to the T. Are you someone out there that does? Being celibacy is actually relationships. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It improves relationships because you're not looking to get something. That's for sure. I know Tom can speak to that. And actually, there's more flirting involved, and it's fun and not expecting something out of it. So you could, kiwi and mango. I don't know. That's a good question, Maria. I don't know that I would. Mostly because I'm allergic to kiwis. But I like the golden kiwis. They don't give me that scratchy thing in the back of the throat, which the other ones do with the fur. The New Zealand. Oh my God, they're so good. Mango, you know what? Mango and kiwi. I gotta look that up food combining wise. I'm not sure if that even works. That's an interesting combination. Yeah, life without sex is actually, you're more creative because that's the same energy. When you're creative in sex, you're basically not focused. It's getting rid of a lot of powerful energy, right? The Kundalini energy, the sexual energy that most people think of, is truly about harnessing it and using it for creativity, right? But most of the times when people use it for the physical form, they lose so much of it. They don't harness it and create something with it. It just gets dispersed and it's like scattered energy, which isn't healthy. So here's what we got. We got a mango and some blueberries. That's probably at least a cup and a half. maybe a cup and a quarter. Now we got a whole handful of mint. Minty fresh. I'm gonna have a nice smelling breath and nobody to smell it. Smell-o-vision, anyone? So we've got, I don't need ice because I got the frozen there. It says lime. Ooh, lime would be good. And I could even put some greens in this if I want. But since I didn't get the container of greens, I'm not going to do that. So lime I can do. This is the part that takes me the longest because I got to cut up the line. Alrighty, almost there. Huh, I just realized the time. I'm okay. Because the appointment I thought I had is really around 10:30, not 9:30. So we got all sorts of time tonight, so let me know. Thank you and congratulations, Vanessa Tracy, for adding those 200 members. Whoop, whoop. I'm telling you, this is going to be one tight contest of who's going to get that blender. I'm excited to know who's going to get it. Anybody out there? So September 16th or 17th, I can't see the number. I know how I could find out. I love lime and lemons. I used to do every morning the lemon with water, but I had to stop doing that so much because my teeth were receding along the gum line, so I'm still trying to work on that. I use activated charcoal to brush my teeth. Actually a blend that I made myself. You know, that's a personal call, Rick, personally. I mean, honestly, and I'll say it, you know, masturbation is cool if you want to do that, but it's still a form of, like that orgasm actually ends up being that sexual energy that you, even if you have it by yourself, it's still a fantasy, so you're technically still dispersing it and scattering it. So I would say that's a call that you can only make. Have I done it? Of course, once or twice in the past few years. I don't know how many times, but not enough times to remember how many. You know, and I guess if you know, depending on how you actually harness it, you could turn it into that, you know, I'm loving myself energy. You're not thinking of somebody else doing it for you. You're doing it for you. That's what this is, right? Hi, Leba. How are you, dear? So I'm slicing off the skin of the lime because limes don't usually have seeds, right? Anybody else have any good questions out there? I'm loving this. Y'all are engaging and I like it. What are you eating tonight? What's everyone eating? How about that? If you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with, right? Yeah, you love yourself. You don't have to love anybody else. First, you know, it all will come naturally. I truly believe that. I truly believe that when you open yourself to cultivating that self-love. No, it's not, Eric. It's not the same jacket from high school. I don't even have those jackets anymore. But that's funny because I was thinking about that. I had a few of those, didn't I? I had a few jackets. Jean jackets were the thing, right, in the 80s? Big time. Oh. Vegan meatballs, yum. Where'd you make them from? What kind of cheese, like what? I know you use probably a nut or a seed. What'd you use? Hi, Debbie. Black eyed peas and tomatoes. Yum! Full of all sorts of nutrients, right? Okay, so I don't always go through and clean up it totally because it's going to get blended on in there. Boy, this is going to be so good. I just wish I had a banana. Darn it, it's too late anyway, even if I did run out to the store, which I'm not going to do. How are you doing tonight, Debbie? Have you had a rockin' rad Labor Day? Who all out there even knows what Labor Day is about? Our society has gotten so convoluted with the whole commerce, sales, buy, sell. Most of us don't even know what the holidays are all about anymore. Alrighty, I think I just need the coconut water. By the way, this is Tom's recipe, so I'm making his recipe tonight. This is Dad with the grandbabies. Aw. My dad is going to be going up north to visit family and spend it with my dad and my sister for a little bit with my niece and nephew. For some reason, sometimes I can read all of y'all's, what you're writing, but sometimes I get cut off at the very end. And I don't know why they do that. They'll get this sorted. I'm telling you, Facebook has come a long way, and I am so grateful to Facebook that we have live. Look at the way they've evolved since they started, right? Right? What? Blend it up, baby. Fresh. This is going to be nice and minty. Oh, busy days are good. Busy days are good. Sometimes we think we should be busy, and sometimes we shouldn't. So, what am I looking for? The water. Oh, that's cool because recycling's going out tomorrow. My trash is getting picked up, so every Tuesday. I love my trash man. My mom taught me growing up, always take care of your trash man. He takes care of your trash. So like, whenever we'd see the trash men outside and they were working hard in the summer, back in the day when they were actually picking up, these guys have the trucks now and it picks up all the stuff. They don't even barely have to get out of the truck if anybody's even there. It's just the driver these days. We used to give them like fresh water and apples or whatever fruit. Right. Hi Desiree, how are you, dear? Okay. Coconut water done. And you know what? Honestly, this is Whole Foods brand. I wasn't too crazy about it. The flavor, ooh. Says it's organic, pulp-free coconut water, not from concentrate. Organic, it doesn't taste as good as Harmless Harvest. That other one. This Harmless Harvest, not this particular one, but theirs, it's pink. I'm going to tell you, it's really yummy. And it's so sweet that I end up adding water. I dilute it because I think I like to prolong it a little bit longer, right? So, and everybody knows I lick the knife. Especially if you saw my video earlier. Wonderful having you, Maria. Mwah, mwah. Have a wonderful evening. Sweet dreams. And I'm going to add a little bit of water, but I'm first going to blend it up first. Boom, boom. What, boom, boom. Blend it up. Perfect, because a lot of times my smoothies end up being much bigger than they were intended to be, which is fine because I'll still drink it later. But keeping it simple, keeping it raw, staying rad. First we're going to try it. Ooh, I always add ginger. That's what I want. But man, it smells so good. Got ginger? Use ginger. It's good for spiciness. It's also good for good belly, inflammation. If you have like a little bit of a migraine, which I kind of sort of have. Hi Robin, how are you, dear? Sometimes, and actually, just for a heads up, if you need to come back later, you can always rewatch later. This is always recorded. I have been known to go 4 hours before, so, and I try to provide as much information as you possibly could use. Tonight we won't go that long, I promise you. But if you have any questions while you're on, hi Jody. Woo-woo. Congratulations, Danny Beth. Woohoo! She added 200 plus, right? Rocking it. I'm telling y'all are on top of this. I can't wait to see. It's a close running because I've been watching and I'm like, ooh, who is gonna be the winner of this juicer? Alrighty, first I'm gonna try it before I blend it with the ginger. Oh, that's good. Blueberry, mint, and mango? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Now we're just gonna blend up the ginger because that's on the next level. All done. Serve it up, baby. Dramatic pour, everyone. All right, and I'm also known for this. Oh, lime. Because I cut the lime up in this. Am I the only one who licks? I don't think I am. Mangoes are juicy stone fruit. Yes, and they're in. I think they're still in season here. I don't know. Look at that. Perfect. Oh, they're not. Because Rick, you're on the right side of the coast for the good mangoes. My girlfriend is a huge mango fan, and I love them as well. But I'm so picky about them. Lickety split yo. Oh yeah, I know. I'm coming to that point, Tom. But I'll show you one of my tricks first. So I did that video a while back too, because that's just how I roll. Oh my God, you have a tree? What kind? What kind of mango tree do you have? Are they the really big ones? I forgot the names of them all. I have 2 sprouting in the backyard right now. I tend to just stick all the seeds in the earth and see what happens. Something got to my watermelon, a few of them, but I still got some flowers on the watermelon. So, now we're at the lickety split one. I have been known to go in there and clean it out. Mostly when it's the coconut yogurt. Ooh, avocados. See, now that's my favorite. Avocados, persimmons. True, like the kaki that come from Naples, Italy. They're so huge. They're bigger than the size of my hand. Like the whole size of my hand. Incredible. Congratulations, Vanessa, for adding 200 members. Oh my gosh, y'all are like, we got some aggressive people out there. I like it. Because I like my food. That's why I like to. Oh, you have the Haas and the big ones. The Florida ones are perfect if you get them off the trees. But when you get them in the stores, they're not as good as the ones in the trees. I have found the difference. It's almost like more buttery when you get them actual local off of a tree. Kind of a little closer to a Haas than the like watery ones that you might find in the store. But I go to the farmer's market in Pinellas Park, and they get some amazing. This past week, they had the big mangoes. Like my dad was like, "Did you see the size of those mangoes?" Hi, Sydney. How are you, hon? Yep, we're good. Okay. So then I lick that. I don't have to lick it if it's already, you know. Aw. They only fruit once a year, huh? And I don't know, does anybody else out there do what I do? And I am like, I hate to have anything to clean up in the kitchen. So I try to do everything as I go. So I don't have to come back here with craziness in my mind of, oh my God, I still got to clean up. Because you know what? When you do it as you go, you save yourself time, energy, any type of stress, because once your belly is full, it's like going, okay, it's time to rest. I'm not going to go back out there and do it. You know? How did I do what? How did I do what? I missed something. Michelle, you're asking how I did something. I know. I'm serious. I really don't like anything in my sink, and that's my OCD side. I like cleanliness. The dishwasher is just the one that came with the house. How did I do that? Say hi. Oh, I got a secret. You gotta keep some things, you know. So, I also like white glove kind of thing. So growing up, when I was a kid, I cleaned my room all the time. That was how I relieved stress. And so I've always been a big cleaner. I've gotten so much better. In fact, I'm actually kind of kicking myself because I got a whole lot to catch up in my house and clean up. I got to clean fans. I've got to clean dusting, and I'm just not looking forward to it. So if anybody wants to come over and help me clean the house, I'm more than open to having you come by. Hi, Veronica. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm loving all the new peeps. Oh, you are all rocking it too. We got some beautiful new people in the house. So many amazing souls out there, and stories to share, and growth to help one another. Like, this is why I'm so excited about this group, is that y'all are got so much to teach and learn from one another, as well as I do from all of you. I absolutely adore that. You know, we have to be challenged. Our mind needs to sometimes be shaken up for us to grow and evolve in our lives, right? If we stay stuck and stagnant, then we're never going to, you know, achieve what it is we came in this life to achieve, which is really ultimately to return to our inner child and have fun and just enjoy everything that comes our way, because it's all perfect. It's the resistance to things that causes the suffering and the traumas, you know? Awesome, Trina. Thank you so much for sharing this. Oh, 200 members. You rock too. Look at y'all. You're on top of adding the members. Woohoo. How far are we from 13,000? My gosh, the way it's going, y'all. Y'all keep surprising me every day. I like it. And if anybody out there, yeah, make sure you go live and show me. You have one goal a day. Like, I open my eyes. Oh, I love that. I can't read all of it right now, but I will later. You looking all made up, pretty. I've been in awe. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that compliment. Well, I was just feeling a little inspired, so I just, you know, did up some hair and makeup. I was feeling kind of nostalgic for the 80s. One of my high school friends, Eric, had already asked me if this was the same jean jacket, and actually it is not, from high school. Although I do have a lot of stuff from back then. Yeah, you know, and it's very important that we all have some goal, something to aspire to. If anything, the most important thing you can be is grateful for the moment, grateful for what you have, and not fixating on what you don't have or what you desire. Because truly, the more you actually find the beauty, the appreciation for what you have, you're also going to find that's going to draw more of it to you. Isn't that powerful? It's amazing. So, any other questions? Are you bored with me yet? I'm just checking. I don't think you get bored with me. I like to change things up. I don't get bored with me because I'm always surprising myself. So, I'm thinking I may sign off so I can go and, ooh, hello. Yes, be grateful and thank the Lord every day. Your hair is big enough for the 80s, you know, and it's really not even that high. I had it up higher when I started. But it's kind of like doing its own thing right now anyway. It's stuck on my necklace. It's stuck on my... Oh, it's going to be interesting washing this. Yeah, it's all over the place. Caught on my jacket, right? Yep, see, there's these buttons. And when it catches on the rivets, it's like... best tasting ever tried. Robin Davis. Hey, hi Kelly, how are you? Hi Jody. Oh my gosh, when this goes pinky swag, woo, yeah. I'm gonna drink. Yep, the avocado tree is my favorite. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden things are moving. Do you have the jacket on backwards? Jeanette, this is actually a jacket I bought in Italy years ago. And crazy, it's actually upside down the way that they designed it. So it's a flipped design, but the arms were done so that it's not like, because your arms would be all funky. Congratulations, Stephanie Duncan. Whoop whoop. The next Facebook member to go live inside, introduce themselves, will be gifted with the 12-week meal plan. Ooh, now there's an incentive. Now there's an incentive. So, yeah. Right? I'm curious who's going to be next. So, here's to all of you. Glass straw. I love you all so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. You be you. Being true to that essence of who you are. I'd like to dance it out, but I'm going to soak it up. Serve it up. Oh my God, that's good. Sweet dreams. Keep it raw. Stay rad. I love you.